Welcome back to Anything You Want, the channel where we bring you the most emotional, breathtaking, and unforgettable stories from the world of Turkish celebrities. Before diving into today's dramatic revelation, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and if you'd like to support us further, click on the join button. Your support helps us share these powerful stories with fans around the world. And don't forget to comment. Do you believe promises made in moments of crisis carry more weight than carefully planned declarations of love? Let's find out together. Every once in a while, a story emerges that transcends the glossy headlines of celebrity life and strikes at the very core of human emotion. This is precisely what unfolded between Gökberk Yildirim, one of Turkey's most admired rising actors, and his devoted partner, Semra Arda. Their relationship had always been admired by fans for its authenticity, yet no one could have predicted the profound moment that would forever etch their names into the hearts of millions. It all began in a sterile hospital ward in Istanbul, a place usually associated with silence, sorrow, and fragile hope. Gökberk, battling for his life under critical care, lay unconscious as doctors worked tirelessly. Outside those closed doors, a storm of anxiety gathered, family members praying for a miracle, journalists hungry for updates, and fans holding their breath. But it was Semra who broke the unbearable silence. Surrounded by flashing cameras and tense whispers, she released a confession so powerful that even the hardened reporters on site froze in shock. Her trembling voice carried across the corridor, "If he opens his eyes, if he looks at me again, I will marry him. I don't want to waste another day without being his wife." It wasn't a rehearsed statement. It wasn't a publicity stunt. It was the raw, unfiltered cry of a woman watching the love of her life hover between life and death. Within minutes, her words escaped the hospital walls and spread like wildfire across Turkey. News outlets rushed to capture the moment. "Semra's promise at the ICU," screamed one headline. Another declared, "Love stronger than fate." Television programs replayed her trembling vow again and again, while social media erupted with admiration and tears. Twitter and Instagram timelines filled with hashtags like #Semrian Gökberk Premise and #Love in the Hospital. Fans poured their emotions online. "This is love in its purest form," one wrote. Another added, "She reminded us all how fragile life is and how important it is to seize love when you can." Some fans even began online campaigns, proposing that when Gökberk recovered, the couple should hold a grand wedding open to the public, a celebration not just for themselves but for everyone who had shared their journey. The emotional wave didn't stop there. Gökberk's mother, who had endured the anguish of waiting for her son's condition to improve, stepped forward after hearing Semra's declaration. Holding the young woman's hand, she whispered words that carried both love and hope. "If my son opens his eyes, I will personally help you into your wedding dress." Witnesses described this moment as one of the most moving gestures of maternal love and acceptance ever seen in Turkish celebrity culture. For many, it was as if the Yildirim family had already embraced Semra not as a girlfriend, but as a daughter-in-law destined to stand at the altar beside their son. Then, the turning point arrived. After long, agonizing hours, the doctors finally delivered the news everyone prayed for. Gökberk Yildirim had regained consciousness. Inside the hospital room, his eyes fluttered open. The steady rhythm of the heart monitor filled the silence, like the beat of life itself reasserting its presence. His first request was simple but unforgettable. He asked for Semra. She entered the room, tears still fresh on her face, and grasped his hand with a mixture of fear and relief. Without hesitation, she repeated her vow. I promised that if you woke up, I would marry you. Now that you're here, I want to keep my word. I will never leave your side. Barely strong enough to speak, Gökberk smiled faintly and whispered, If you want it, I want it too. Let's not wait any longer. Fate has given us another chance. Doctors, nurses, and family members alike were overcome with emotion. What had begun as a night of despair transformed into a living miracle. The revelation swept across Turkey like a tidal wave. Headlines proclaimed, From ICU to I do, and Gökberk opens his eyes to love. Fans rejoiced online, creating photo montages of the couple in wedding attire, sharing songs they imagined would be played at the ceremony, and writing heartfelt letters to the pair. One fan tweeted, We cried with fear last night, and today we cry with joy. This is love stronger than fate itself. Another wrote, After surviving this, they deserve the most magical wedding Turkey has ever seen. The promise at the hospital door had now transformed into a national conversation about love, destiny, and the fragility of life. What makes this story resonate so deeply is its authenticity. Until that fateful night, neither Gökberk nor Semra had spoken publicly about marriage. Their relationship was known to be solid and loving, but future plans had remained private. With Semra's vow, however, the truth emerged in its purest form, love unafraid, love unwilling to wait, love that confronts the uncertainty of life head-on. Commentators have hailed it as a story that no scriptwriter could ever have crafted. It wasn't performance, it wasn't staged, it was a spontaneous eruption of devotion that captured the heart of a nation. Now the question on everyone's lips, will they marry soon? Gossip magazines predict that once Gökberk fully recovers, a wedding will follow swiftly, fulfilling Semra's promise in the most beautiful way possible. But here's where you, our audience on Anything You Want, come in. Do you believe the couple should rush to the altar while the emotion is still raw, or should they take time to heal and then celebrate? Drop your thoughts in the comments. This community is all about your voice, and we want to hear it. Dear viewers, what happened in that hospital corridor will be remembered not just as celebrity news, but as a timeless reminder of what it means to love. Semra Arda's trembling vow and Gökberk Yıldırım's fragile reply created a story more powerful than any drama. Together, they transformed despair into hope, sorrow into joy, and silence into a declaration that touched millions. As you reflect on their journey, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Anything You Want, and click the join button if you'd like to support us even more. Your engagement keeps us going, and your comments bring these stories to life. Stay tuned, because in the world of Turkish entertainment, reality often outshines fiction. And remember, sometimes the most powerful promises are those made in the darkest hours.